This is not a pleasant discussion to have. In fact, this is very important and serious, and so much so that we need to talk about this. There have been many issues within the art community as of recently, and more specifically, it involves a well-known art commentary YouTuber known as Thumin. For those of you who don't know who Thumin is, she is an art commentary YouTuber with over 130k subscribers that discuss issues such as racism, art theft, drama within the community, and so forth. She also has a Twitter and Instagram account. However, one of her accounts is currently in jeopardy, as I'll elaborate on that later. Back in October, Thumin did a collab video with fellow YouTuber Amia that discusses the topic of blackwashing, and in that video, it features a speed paint of Thumin drawing herself as Kiki from the famous Ghibli studio film Kiki's Delivery Service. Unfortunately, after posting her fan art on Twitter, she has received nothing but endless amounts of hateful, racist comments from, hateful people. And to say that this is horrendous is an understatement at this point because she is still receiving such messages. Basically, those messages consist of using racial slurs, the hard R N-word, might I add, offensive memes and photos, and even death threats. Yes, death threats. This has been going on since October, which is around 5 months now? I will not share most of these posts since they're extremely harmful and that you can easily find them on Twitter, and Thumin recently posted her video addressing that. When Thumin decided to speak out about the harassment not too long later and tried to report those offensive accounts, unfortunately they weren't banned or at least suspended for whatever reason. Apparently Twitter's TOS system is flawed and broken, and same with Instagram. Naturally, her supporters went out their way to spread the word of what is going on, and that's a good thing in itself since more folks need to be aware of this situation. Only very few YouTubers, including Thumin herself, Creepshow Art, and Harley TBS have addressed this as well. Thumin was also quote-unquote advised to ignore the trolls, but here's the thing. No matter what, even if you were to ignore those hateful comments, it won't stop anytime soon, so that's not good advice to give. Additionally, it was a good thing that Thumin spoke out about the racist remarks in the first place. Otherwise, not many would have been aware of it, and things could have ended a lot worse. The worst is yet to come. Thumin has recently made a post on her Instagram discussing the racism she's dealing with, but apparently Instagram thought it was considered quote-unquote hate speech, and therefore took it down. However, she was literally speaking against this said hate speech she was going through, and it baffles me to no end because those hateful accounts get away with hate speech scot-free, while Thumin has to suffer all the unfair consequences. And another thing, even after Thumin tried to make an appeal with Instagram, it was to no avail, and yet the racist comments prevailed. That's censorship, and that's something I will not stand for. The worst part is that Instagram basically took down another post of Thumin's after she exposed the double standards on how racists get away with doing horrible things, while apparently speaking out against it is considered inappropriate for the so-called community guidelines. In fact, Instagram warned her that her account could potentially be banned, which isn't fair since Thumin stated in her video that Instagram was her biggest art platform to share her content. She just wanted to have a voice as a black creator and preach that racism isn't okay by any means. She shouldn't be silenced and censored over this, neither should all of us, especially black content creators. I am really saddened by what unfortunate situations Thumin has been going through and completely disgusted that there are so many racist and hateful people out there. Of course, that isn't inevitable, but the fact that Thumin has been dealing this for about 5 months now must have been exhausting for her. All she literally did was drew herself as Kiki, and apparently that warrants so many hateful comments and trolls? I don't understand. Are artists not allowed to draw themselves as fictional characters just because they have a different skin tone? Anyone should be allowed to draw whatever fictional characters they like in whatever style without receiving harassments of any sorts. Thumin, if by chance you're watching this, I am so sorry for what you've been experiencing. As a person of color myself, it is indeed exhausting to endure such racial harassment over drawing beloved fictional characters, and that everyone should have the freedom to draw whatever they like. Just know that all of us supporters will be by your side till the very end, and we will do everything in our power to ensure that you won't be silenced again. We all love you, and want your channel to thrive with more and more supporters along the way. Thumin deserves better. I think we can all agree on that. So far, she has been getting lots of love through fan art and supportive messages, which is a really sweet thing to do. And you should absolutely support Thumin yourself. Go subscribe to her channel, follow her on social media, consider donating on her coffee, buying her merch, and maybe supporting her on Patreon. It's okay if you don't have enough money. Simply supporting her through any means is sufficient and ensures that she appreciates it immensely, considering that this is a real tough time she's dealing with. She's also a nice and down-to-earth person to talk to, which is a shame that she's still getting hate. Usually, these are not the types of videos I normally post. However, since this is a serious topic and it involves one of my favorite art YouTubers, it is better to simply address what is going on than to be silent about it. Nobody deserves such treatment simply because of their color skin or identity. We are all human after all. I just want everyone to take away this message to not be hateful. Instead, build each other up and better ourselves. So hopefully you all know what the message is, and we as a community need to do better in order to condemn bullying, racism, and all forms of harassment. That is all I have to say in the matter. I implore you to spread the word about this. More folks need to address it as well, especially because the bullying continues as we speak. Until Thumin gets the justice they deserve, we will not be silenced. Thank you, and take care.